Hey guys, in the previous class we have seen the what is the given question. So in this today's class we are going to solve the answer for this given question, right? So one point to be remember here is that subnetting use the concept of what CIDR. CIDR means we have this last representation, right? So differentiate between how many networks bit we are using as well as the how many host bit we are using. So there we are not using the classless IP address, sorry, classful IP addressing mechanism, right? So what is the given question is that we have to divide into the fixed size of the subnetting. So fixed means suppose if you are identifying the 50 number of the host, it means that I need to assign the network range which should give the minimum number as the 50 number of the host. Nothing but in my network something in my networks I have the 50 system. So for 50 system I need to assign the IP address. For that, based on this requirement, I need to divide it the one class C network into the multiple pieces, right? So after assigning the multiple pieces, how many networks we will be getting, how many, what is the starting IP address, ending IP address, what is the network address, what is the broadcast address, what is the subnet mask, we need to find out. What is the fixed length we have given? So 50 number of host is our requirement. So which method we need to use? Fixed length subnet masking. So for example, they are asking us to use this series, right? So class C means this is the network address, this is the host address, is nothing but the 8-bit value. Remember, so we are which method we are using? CIDR. So network portion means 8 plus 8 plus is 24. How many networks bit we have? 24. How many host bit we have? 8 bits. In CIDR we are going to represent only /24 means we have the 24 networks bit, then remaining 8 bits are the host bits. As per this requirement we are going to divide this one network into the multiple pieces. That is our requirement, right? Now before that we'll write formula 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, 2 power 5, 2 power 6, 2 power 7 something. So 1, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, something like this. Now see, if you want to consider the number of subnets, so here only this is the possibility you will be getting. Either you can divide into the two category, or 4 or 8 or 16 or 32, 64 or 128 sizes. So this is the rule. So 2 power only we need to make it as the subnet size, right? So it means that, but what they are asking, 50 they are asking. Do we have any 50 we can make it as the one subnet? No, it is not possible. Everything should be make in terms of the 2 power n only. Now see that what is our requirement? 50. Each subnetwork should consist of the minimum of the 50 hosts, right? Now see that if you take 32, nothing but 2, 4, 5, it is not sufficient. Now if you take 64, right? So 64 means maximum you will be getting the 0 to 63, right? Now 50 is in between 0 to 63, right? So what is the value we need to consider? Something 2 power 6. Remember, what is the value we need to consider? 2 power 6. If you consider 2 power 8, what will be happen? 2 power 7, you will be getting the 180 to 128, but number of address will be wasted again, right? So as per our requirement, 64 is sufficient because we have to give the 50 number of hosts. So which consider we need to consider? 2 power 6. Now which mechanism is CIDR? Nothing but we are using this slash mechanism. Now see that, right? So let me take here so that you will be understanding what is the network series. I need to use something called as the 192 dot, let me take some other color, right? So 192 dot 168.1 dot, this is the network portion. So network portion means how many bit value you will be having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what is the CIDR rotation? Network means 8-bit value, 8-bit value, 8-bit value. So nothing but the 24. This is the default thing we are going to do. Now what we are going to do is we are going to perform something called as the subnetting operation using of what? Fixed length subnet masking operation, right? Now see that how many bits we require. So subnetting means what? We are converting this host portion into the network portion. It means that 0 we are going to convert into the 1. So that 256 we are going to divide into the some multiple subpart of the network. That is the meaning of the subnet masking concept. Now what is our requirement? We require something called as the 50 host, right? So how many? 2 power 5 is nothing but the 32. this is not sufficient. So how many bits we need to consider? 2 power 6 means 64. It means that 0 to 63 we will be having the 50 number, right? So we can consider the 6 bit representation. And what is the meaning of this one is that out of these 8 bits I can use only 6 bits so that I can able to get the 50 number of the hosts. Try to understand. I don't require all 8 bits. If we consider all 8 bits, what will be happen? We will be getting the 256 IP addresses. But what is my requirement? I required only 15. So now I don't require to consider the all 256 series. Some of the bits I am going to convert into the networks bit so that we will be getting the more number of the networks. Right? The number of hosts also will be reduced. In my case, how many requirement is that? 50, right? So see that if I take 6 bit representation, 2 power 5 means 32, 2 power 6 means 64. It means that I will be consider only 6 bit values for the host portion, right? But here we have the 8 bit, right? So this 8 bit we are going to convert into the network portion. So these 2 bit will be given for the network, the remaining 8 bit will be given for the host portion. This is what we called as the subdivision or subnetting operation. Right, now see that what exactly we are going to do. 192.168.1. so these are the 8 zeros, right? 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? So what is our requirement? Only 2 power 6, right? 64 is a requirement, right? So it means that I required only 1 2 3 4 5 6. These bit I will be assigned for the host portion, right? So remaining these 2 bits are there, right? By default it is /24, right? Because 8 plus 8 plus 8 nothing but the 24. Now after you deciding that 6 bits are sufficient for the host operation, then these will be given to the network portion. It means that this will be replaced by what? 1 1, right? So now see that what is the subnet mask for this one? 255 255 255.0, right? Now we need to find out the what is the subnet mask for this one, right? So this is all the network portion, right? Network portion means 255. This is also network portion 255 255. Now it is not 0. Why not 0 means now it is not /24, it is /26. It means that earlier 24, now we convert these 2 bits into the network bit. So 24 plus 2 is nothing but the 26, right? Try to understand. So what is this value now? Something 1160, right? So 1160, nothing but 1 2 4 8 16 32 64 128. So add this one, 120 plus 64 is nothing but the 192, right? Right? So now what is the subnet mask is that 192, because this is the 1 value. Earlier 0 means we are getting the subnet mask equal to 0. Now it is changes to 1, right? This is the point you need to remember. Now what is the subnet mask for this one? 255 255 dot 255 255 255 dot 192 is the subnet mask. Now see that how many bits we converted into the network bit? 2 bits, right? 2 bits are we converted into the network bits. Now question is that how many networks we will be getting, right? So how many networks we will be getting? Subnet means dividing one network into the multiple network, right? Now what is the CIDR notation? It is /26. Now 2 bits networking means how many possible networks we will be getting is again 2 power n. So here 2 bits means we will be getting the 2 power 2. So total number of networks we will be getting the 4 networks, right? So remember that how many network we will be getting? 2 power 2 means 4 networks. So first network, second network, third network, 4 networks. It means that one network we are going to divide into the 4 separate parts. Now each network how many host portion we will be getting? Only 6 bit value. Or in easiest way, now total we will be having the 256 IP address, right? Earlier. Now how many networks we are going to divide this 256 IP address? This is the 256, right? How many subparts we are going to divide? 4, right? So it means that we will be getting the right 4 4 6 are 24 and 4 4 are 16. So it means that each subnet we will be considering of the 64 host. As per requirement we required only 50, but as per 2 power formula 50 is not possible. So we are considering the nearest value is nothing but the 64. It means that one network, it is actually consists of the 256. We divide into the 4 networks. Each networks we will be having the something called as the 64 addresses. Simple thing. So here we have the 2-bit means how many networks we will be getting. 2 power n is nothing but the 2 power 2. 2-bit means 2. So 4 networks, right? So total generally you will be getting the class C means 256 IP address. So 256 is by 4 is nothing but the 64. And it means that 256 is going to be assigned to the 4 parts. In each 4 part we will be having the 64 IP address. This is what we called as the fixed length subnet masking, right? Now first we will see that we have the 4 subnets. Each subnet will consist of how many host machines? 64. What is the starting network ID? This is the constant, right? Just I am writing 192.168.1. This value we need to find out. We need to find out what is the starting IP address, what is the ending IP address value, right? Now see that what is the first starting value? 0 to 63, right? Let it be. What is the size of this one? 64, right? Let it be. Here I am going to write 192.168. This is the constant, guys, right? This is constant. Subnet mask also 192 constant. Now here we are going to write the 64. Next this is 64 plus 64, right? Nothing but again one more adding with be 120, right? So 192.168.1.128. Next 128 plus 64 is what? 192, right? Yes, 192. Next I am going to write the 192.168.1.192. Now see that. So first subnet size is 64, right? The second subnet is starting from the 64. It means that the first subnet should be ending where? 63 it should be ended. So it means that 0 to 63. Starting will be 0, ending will be 63. So 0 to 63 means you will be getting the 64 IP addresses, right? So see that first subnet is completed. Now second subnet is starting from the 64 means, so how many? Here it is starting from 128 means it will be ending somewhere with the 1.127, right? So from 64 to 127 we will be having the something called as the 64 IP addresses. So if it is ending with 192, it will be end with what? 168.1.191. So what is the maximum value? 1.255, right? So this is how we will be getting the 4 subnet value. Now each subnet we need to identify the what is the first usable IP address, what is the last usable IP address, what is the network address, what is the broadcast address. So let me consider first this one. I need to find out what is the network address, what is the first usable IP address, what is the last usable IP address, what is the broadcasting address. These things we need to find out the each individual subdivided network. So first let me consider this first subdivision of this network. So see that what is the starting bit value? 1.0, right? So this is your 192.168.1.0 is nothing but the network address, right? So what is the last address? 63, right? So this is nothing but the 168.1.63 over is the broadcasting address. So after that how many address we will be getting? 64 minus 2 is nothing but the 62 IP address which will be assigned to the host or devices or systems. Now what is the first usable address? After 0 we will be getting something 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 63. What is the first usable IP address? 192.168.1.1. What is the next usable IP address? 1.2. Like that, what is the last usable IP address? 1.62 is the last usable IP address, right? So try to find the answer for this one. What is the network address? 192.168.1.64. Starting IP address is the network address. What is the broadcasting address? This is the last IP address, nothing but 192.168.1.127. What is the first usable IP address? 192.168.1.65. What is the last usable IP address? 192.168.1.126. So like this you find the what is the first usable, last usable, network ID as well as the broadcast ID. Suppose for this one, this is the network ID, this is the broadcast ID. The first usable IP address is 193, the last usable address is the 254. So like this we are going to find out one network into the multiple subnetting, that is what we called as the subnetting concept. Now see that here What is the subnet we are using? /26 CIDR notation. It means that first 8 bit, 8 bit, 8 bits also network. In the host portion, out of 8 bits, 2 bits are converted into the network. Remaining 6 bits only we assign for the host portion, right? So 2 was converted means by default 3 into 8 means 24. After this host portion we convert into the network portion, we will be getting the 2 more 26. By using this only we are going to identify how many address we will be getting in the network. Without CIDR we cannot able to find out all these things, right? Now question is that I am giving to you, let I have the organization, my requirement something is the 25 systems, right? So maximum capacity is something 25 system. Now what you have to do is use the fixed length subnet masking. Suppose for example you use this series 192.168.1 series, then you find out how many subnets you will be getting, maximum number of subnets. Then you find out what is the network ID for each subnet, what is the broadcast ID for each subnet, what is the first usable IP address for the each subnet, what is the last usable IP address for the each subnet, right? Now if you remember this one, then we can go back to the in previous discussions we have something, right? So we need to find out the answer for this one as per the previous discussion. What is the question is that, right? Now see that this is the question they have given, something like this. One second. Now see that a block of address is granted to the small organization. We know that one of the addresses is 192.168.1.10/26. Now what they are asking is that what is the first usable IP address in the block. So it means that simple thing. So 192.168.1. So this is a 3, right? /24, right? Up to here. Now this is the host portion, right? Host portion means how many bits? Something 192.168.1. This is the 24 network portion. Host portion is nothing but the 8 bit value. Now what is the CIDR they have given? 26, not 24, right? Now 24 means these are the network bit. Now these are the host bit. So now what they have given 26 means somehow we need to convert this host part into the network part, right? So we have already 24, right? So how to get 26 plus 2, right? 26. It means that these 2 bits we need to convert it into the network bit, right? So that is what we called as the CIDR notation. Now how many bits we converted into network bit? 2 bits. So how many in total subdivided network we will be getting? 2 power 2, nothing but the 4 networks, right? So total number of networks we will be getting the 4 networks, right? So 4 networks we will be getting. What is the size of each network? 256, right? Normally by 4. Each network will be consisting of the 64 size. That is the meaning of this one. This is the same question, right? If you see this, you will understand. See, these are the things we have discussed, right? This one, right? So see that what is the first series they have given, something this one, right? See, so this is the IP address 192.168.1.10. They are not giving the entire IP address, they are giving the some IP address. They are giving /26. /26 means how many networks we will be getting? 1, 2, 3, 4 networks we will be getting. So what is the first usable IP address? What is the answer? So this is in between 1.0 to 1.63, right? 1.10. So in this, what is the first usable IP address? 1.0 is network address, right? So 1.1 is the first usable IP address. Now see that 192.168.1.67 something they have given, 26 they have given. They are asking that what is the first usable IP address? What is the first usable IP address? First you should find out which subnet it is belonging to. It may be first one, second one, third one or fourth one. Which subnet it is belonging? It is belonging to in between 64 to 127, right? It means that it is belonging to the second subnet. So that in the second subnet, what is the first usable IP address? 1.65. 1.64 what? Network address. The next usable IP address is the 1.65. Right? So like that we need to find out. Now suppose for example here we have the something 26, right? So it is 18 means what? How many networks? 4 networks. What is the first network range? 0 to 63, right? Some IP address they have given, right? So 18 means it is in between 0 to 63. So that what is the first usable IP address? 1. So what is the series they have given? In this case we are using the 192.168.1, right? Here the network series is something 200.168.1 series. Now what is the answer? 1.1. So like that, first as per the given CIDR you need to find out the how many networks we will be having, what is the size of the each subnet. So after finding this only you can able to answer this question, right? I hope you understand. So please try to solve the given problem so that you will be understanding. So thank you guys, thank you very much.